When you order a triple espresso, you're tripling down on productivity. Last time I ordered a double espresso, I made a decision. Only triple espressos moving forward because my wife circumcises my happiness enough already. Holla! Thank you very much! If your mom rejected your connection request on LinkedIn, you'd live to score laughs from strangers for a living too. Holla! Thank you very much! My mom is from Kentucky, but not the part where finger food is anything that tastes like your cousin's panties. Holla! Thank you very much! Mama told me once, son, Kentucky is known for horses and pretty women. I said, keep your sundress on, Mom, before you tell me Dad is hung like Seabiscuit. And the reason you converted to Judaism is because Dad's Hebrew hammer pounded you into submission. Because the honor of marrying into Dad's putsy DNA wasn't enough for you to kick Jesus out of your heart permanently either. Holla! Thank you very much! I'm the mother of your 3 kids is a cop-out. Whenever I call my wife a bitch again, when you become a mother, it doesn't prevent you from becoming an unhuggable cunt like my mother-in-law again. Holla! Thank you very much! Just like becoming a grandpa doesn't ensure you'll turn into fucking Santa Claus overnight either. For example, for Christmas one year, when my daughter was 2, my father-in-law got her a toy chest with no toys in it. My daughter acted confused, not knowing if this was a sick practical joke or not. So, I ease her concern and say, don't sweat it, Matilda. When we get home to New York, we'll fill it up with your 8,000 Hanukkah gifts. Holla! Thank you very much! And if I'm in a more forgiving, generous mood, I'll throw in some Jesus Apostle trading cards to prove the Bible Part 2 matters plenty to 2 billion large. 2. Holla! Thank you very much! Mom just texted me a black and white photo from Easter with her sister growing up. Yet it got weird when my mom pushed for my daughter to see the photograph on Easter Sunday, because this is coming from a woman who went out of her way to shame my Gentile wife during my daughter's conversion mikveh ceremony, who told the rabbi there, I'm the daughter of the biblical Sarah, unlike my bitch daughter-in-law who was never that into Jesus in the first place. Holla! Thank you very much! I text back my mother and say, I was born on Easter, as you know, Mom. Plus, my friends call me Jesus when my hair was thick and long in college. Plus, I've been called and treated like a delusional madman for criticizing fake news heroes like Obama be good. So I share that connection with Jesus too. Holla! Thank you very much! Last, Matilda drew this in the sand yesterday. It said, I love Jews. My mother never acknowledged her granddaughter's artwork in the sand, but that's what happens when you start worshiping fascist Democrats over you-know-who. This is the Do It All Dad Year podcast. I know you miss me. Buy my books. Prove to me how much you fucking miss me. Do It All Dad entertainment for you and me. Controlling our kids' economy can make our kids great again. My 3 fuss-free kids, 90% of the time, are living proof of it. Today, for both my children, I learned there's 3 months left in the school year, and I also learned that their teachers love their beautifying, super original souls as much as I do. And those teacher reviews that continue to rave and emote in my children's honor are the gifts that keep on giving. And it's also nice to get laughs during those meetings when I'm just being me. And it's also nice for your daughter's third grade teacher. It could be fourth. I should really know these things. How much weed am I smoking exactly? She's in fourth grade. She's 10. But I can't believe she's in fourth grade. My daughter decided to write a paper on the Holocaust. And she had carte blanche. Obviously here in North Salem, they're not pushing for you to learn about the Holocaust, especially at 10. So that makes me very happy. Obviously, I've instilled Jewish pride. Not that my father would ever fucking recognize it, but he can go woke himself too. I'm watching the, not the Final Four, Final Eight college basketball when I was visiting Arizona. And Barkley started talking about Obama, talking about what a wonderful man he is. And, I mean, you could say my response could have been a tad more mature. I literally start covering my ears and go, la, 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 la. Dad, I don't want to hear, la, 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 la. The edibles had kicked in at that point. Marijuana is legal in Arizona now. So that definitely assuages the embedded enragement, feelings of abandonment since my father and mother decided to live in Arizona indefinitely, especially after they got sticker shock, after they saw what they can get in Florida compared to their Arizona estate home right now. According to my brother, they don't suffer from sticker shock, but kiss asses are always going to, find a positive spin, especially when they're being bailed out again. So, for being consistent with their degeneracy, this is turning into a pseudo psychiatric bitter lace therapy session. But these reviews were great. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. I had a friend, Chaim. I did an old podcast. I said Noah was bound to Woo too. Really good friend of mine, groomsman, originally from Israel. He's a lawyer now. He went to SUNY Binghamton, went to Ithaca. So that was only like an hour away. So we spent lots of time in college and in high school. And, he's always been a big believer in me. He came to my stand-up comedy shows back in the day and, read scripts. And Chaim's always been wonderful. I love you, bro. And what's been great about the ex-president no longer being the picture is that I've decided to reconnect with some friends, realizing that I'm certainly not going to completely decimate 2 decades of friendship over a guy who didn't declare the Insurrection Act and let democracy die on his watch. So, because that would just be dumb. And that would prove that I'm no better than baby boomers. Because baby boomer arrogance never dies. See, I'm capable of self-correction. I still love what Trump stands for. I still love the fact that he was the best friend Israel never had, which ties into my time paying mikveh to my friend Chaim's mother, who had passed. She had cancer. And Chaim's got 2 other brothers. And his father, this was his lifetime partner in love. And he had an uncle that was there too, who I never met. And I told him that his wife exuded nothing but nonstop knockus in this world for raising such proud, independent, successful, Jewish New Yorkers. And that's a tremendous legacy to feel great about, even after she's gone. And they appreciate that message a lot. It was a really beautiful moment. The depressing part was bonding more with Chaim and his brothers than I did with my own brother. I saw him earlier at this basketball court. He didn't even mention anything about the mikveh after I left him a message like, hey, I'm going to be in the area. When I saw him, I decided to start throwing a basketball at him. At first, I'm like, you know what? I'll avoid him. I'm like, no, I'm just going to throw a basketball at him. and then I told him about my collection of short stories, Waste of Height, which is now officially done. So, thank you very much. Thank you, SoundCloud. Thank you, WordPress. I finished strong. I wrote 3-star vehicles for my three beautiful, beamish, angelic rays of light. The first one being Matilda Signos Kornbluth, and the one I wrote in her honor was Pitch Woman of the Year. And then for Arthur Morrison Kornbluth, aka Archer USA, I wrote the Wishing Well Architect, and for Samuel Chosen Curls was bound to woo! We wrote The Metal Edge. And I've done a decent amount of writing in my day. I'm turning 45 in April 18th. And I am most proud of Waste of Height, very short stories, because it's a dreamy combination that consists of unbelievable jokes and really interesting characters that no one's reading about otherwise. And they're punchy, and they're in and out. All the short stories I read in freaking high school were boring. I had to read jilted southern slang from Flannery O'Connor. And I can't remember like one memorable line. I never laughed at any of those short stories. None of them were funny. And I want this book to be the greatest selling short story book collection of all time. So I now have a woman who gave the Great American Jew Novel in the Midwest Book Review a glowing review. And she also provides editing services. So I had this idea out of the blue to contact her, especially after my wife made it clear that she does not want to hear any more talk about me writing any other books. This is after she was pushing me to get a job at Trader Joe's in Danbury. And if she only knew, I've ignored her advice prior blatantly and doubled down on myself and wrote not one but two. So I sent out my first pitch letter today for the Koshertarian Comedian, which I'm very excited about. I could add a chapter or more, but I've got like 40,000 words. It's enough to send to an agent and a publisher where they can give me some other shekels to beef it up if they want to hop on board the Michael Kornbluth Do It All Dad Year comedy train. Because this train is bound for glory. Holla! Thank you very much! So I'm at my friend's house. Well, it's his father's house. And my friend was telling me that I was able to like light up his world, by talking about, politics, by talking about how the Times of Israel banned me as a blogger because I made fun of Cuomo and called him the Italian reptilian inside, who looks like the Thing, and Mama Fratelli from the Goonies had a baby, in addition to his unfair targeting of Orthodox Jews and the scapegoating they've received, trafficking in anti-Semitic tropes, as if they're the reason that the freaking COVID virus spread like wildfire. Nothing to do with, Cuomo issuing an executive order to make sure that as many Blanches died as much as humanly possible, while forcing these old assisted living homes to accept as many old people as they could, while those hospital beds shipped in by President Trump were getting less touches than a Bible and a bathhouse colony in Provincetown. Holla! Thank you very much! So folks, I wish I could sound like more energetic and more upbeat, but this trip to my parents was a real bummer. But I'm not going to ruin my flow. I'll get to that part in a second. But again, so I'm having this great conversation with my friend Chaim's father. His wife just died, and I'm paying mikveh. And along the way, my friend Chaim, you want to talk about great compliments? He says, you should do stand-up comedy in Israel. And obviously target your material towards the right-wing contingency, and you be a superstar overnight. So I thought that was wonderful, and it's not a bad idea. Although I would feel blatantly uncomfortable living in Israel, knowing that everyone there has to serve time in the military, and I think I'm way too old to serve in the military, so I don't really know how that works. But performing there and killing would be unbelievable. So my new game plan is to get an agent in Israel, ideally, because I just don't know how many proud Jewish, borderline traditional agents are actually left in my city, New York, which is now depreciating, rapidly joyless hellhole. So, but I really hope the comedy clubs open up again. I don't want to live in fear. So I'll bring brass knuckles to the city. What do you freaking do? Be extra careful on the subway. I'm a big guy. I don't see many homeless freaks trying to, push me into the tracks. I want to see them try. I'll fuck them up. So, what's my point? My point is that friendship is a very special thing, and don't let politics ever ruin that. Now, some people, I have another good friend, a groomsman, who I made multiple attempts to reach out to, and I'm the one that's really be pissed off at him, not the other way around. And I'm convinced that he's not getting back to me because of me supporting Trump and all that stuff. And because I found out from my friend Kai, and he goes, "Yeah, I've heard your podcast," and meanwhile he never made that known to me. So I've been in the wilderness for the past 4 years, but not really living for approval from friends from high school. But I will say this: that I reached out to my other friend Jesse, who was also a groomsman, and he's in Miami now. He's a big shot, big mocker, does ad sales, and he works for Vimo. And he was so glad that I made that step to reach out to him, and we got pretty nasty. He was anti-Trump, and we got into it. We have this chain, this text chain amongst old high school friends, and I did not hold back. But we squashed it, and we love each other more than ever before, and that's a beautiful thing. And again, I hate to quote pedophiles, but this quote by C.S. Lewis where it says that you can't choose your beginnings, but you can't choose your beginnings sometimes, but you can. But you're in control of creating a favorable ending. So I'm really glad that happened, and I love you, Jesse, and I love you, Chaim, and it's really great to have people to believe in you after all these years, especially when your wife doesn't anymore, and your parents, especially your father, says after you make an Obama comment, he goes, "You don't like black people," and I said, "Dad, how many black girls have you banged exactly?" Well, my first one was Portia. What about you? Dad, let me ask you this. How many black friends do you have? Okay, that's what I thought. How many black comedian luminaries have you reached out to that you've cared about expressing the depth of your love regarding their legacy and how they've inspired you to make the best of your comedic abilities? No? Nobody? Okay. Well, I got Dick Gregory, who's dead. I got Charlie Murphy, who's dead. Robert Townsend. Do I need to go on? Do I need to tell you about me auditioning for Paul Mooney and getting a call back and him saying, "I hear you're funny," after I approached him when he wanted nothing to do with me? Do I need to talk to you about do I need to remind you, Dad, of the minor league baseball player who was going to Arizona for spring training that meant the flight from Dallas to Arizona? Do I need to tell you about this unbelievable black woman that I met on my flight heading back to New York, from who I met at the Midway Airport in Chicago? He's been a lifetime educator. You take all these inner city kids to Disney, and that's what I thought. So just pretend that you have a semblance of independent thought left, and try to act as if you are different than everyone else on Twitter and Facebook and anyone else who works for CNN. Has done everything in their power to dehumanize, demean, dismiss, diminish anyone who knows that the people in control of the Democratic Party right now, who work in conjunction with the media and the deep state, are pure evil, diabolical, anti-American, anti-Semitic scumbags! Holla! Thank you very much! Glad I got that off my chest! I'm freaking on edibles. In Arizona, I'm enjoying the gorgeous sunset, the pink clouds. I'm on edibles. I'm not with my kids, but of course I miss them. But I'm excited. I'm just relaxing. My books were done. I knew I had 3 chapters more to go, but it was a well-earned spring break for 4 days. And my mom goes out of her way to get me defensive and tries to ask, saying, so why are you with Natalia exactly? That's my wife. Because I mentioned my old girlfriend, Katie King. It was a nice story in relation to my mother, how we went out to eat. Katie was holding my hand. Mom says, when I saw that, I knew you'd be okay. Nice story. But when I was visiting, I picked up this book by Shel Silverstein that an ex-girlfriend, Amy, mother got for me. And it's in my parents' Arizona estate home. And I open it. I had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I just want something to read. And I've been like reading the news since the day democracy died. And although recently I've been reading a couple articles on American Thinker, but I'm going to stop that immediately because it's just fucking pointless. But so the point being is that in the book I saw the DVD Anal Sluts 12 and I couldn't remember if I'm almost positive that's my brother. There's a black chick in it, and I'm into black chicks. But it was just very fitting knowing that my brother continues to tarnish any repository of innocence in relation to my children. For example, the one time when I had a weekend free, we was in Pleasantville, and I said, I don't want you calling any freaking online hoes that you like just met online that you swiped over to your cock. I don't want them in my house. And then what happens the next morning? There's a used condom on this beautiful white couch in my office. So, again, God, you can't be angry at me. You can't accuse me of having hatred in my heart for writing the never-ending prick in my younger brother's honor. I mean, they say success is the ultimate form of revenge. I don't live for revenge. I just want to freaking make money off my writing. I want it to be recognized. So, and because real art sells, baby. And I can't wait to feel like a real deal artist again, especially when I'm killing on stage in front of the millions on simulcast because of COVID restrictions when Doodle Dad does Israel. And I know you guys will be tuning in too. And I'll talk to you guys soon.